You don't need motivation, but you do need consequences in your life. Let me explain. So, everyone keeps wanting to feel motivated in their life, right? I'll start when I'm ready. I'll start when I feel ready. I just need to get in the right headspace, they say. But that headspace, it never comes. And you wonder why. You don't move because you're inspired, you move because something's on the line in your life. People who don't change out of motivation, they change out of pressure, out of pain, out of the fear out of the fear of staying the same, out of fear of them staying the same will cause great pain. There's a very progressive lie about motivation. You know, motivation is a high. It hits fast and it disappears fast. That's why you'll watch a motivational video and you'll feel unstoppable for 15 minutes, let's say. Then scroll back into the same habits. Real growth doesn't come from the hype. It comes from the consequences in life. When the pain of doing nothing finally outweighs the comfort of doing nothing, that's when you move. Until then, you'll sit there and you'll keep lying to yourself, calling procrastination planning for the future. When those consequences hit, you have to think about the moment that you actually changed your life. You know, the breakup that forced you to level up, the job loss that made you start that side hustle. You know, the moment that you looked in the mirror and you didn't like who you'd become. That wasn't motivation, that was consequence. The human brain doesn't respond to inspiration, it responds to urgency in the world. You either give yourself consequences or life will give them to you later. I'll say that one more time. You either give yourself consequences or life will give them to you later. And life's version always hits harder, as you might have already realized. Now, there's a trap that all of us get stuck in. It's the trap of comfort. The reason most people stay stuck isn't laziness necessarily. It's the comfort. You've built a life just comfortable enough to keep you numb, to keep you steady, not happy, not fulfilled, just okay. And that's the dead zone where dreams go to die inevitably. If you don't create pressure for yourself, your brain assumes everything's fine and everything's dandy. That's why I stopped relying on motivation a long time ago, and I started building systems that punish my inaction to do things. Let's say you miss a day in the gym, you know, like there should be something that goes against that. You skip a content upload. You lose consistency streaks that you actually care about, you know? Don't rely on feeling like it. Make it expensive not to do it in your life. Make it hurt more. And there's a sort of a shift that this brings. The people you look up to, the ones who seem disciplined, aren't motivated all the time. They just built their world, so quitting has a price that they're just not willing to pay in the long run. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs wait for the energy, and professionals can build environments where failure genuinely hurts either them, their family. But you don't need a pep talk. You need pressure in your life. You don't need motivation. You need to make staying the same feel unbearable, literally. And that pressure can be in the form of a lot of different things. It could be you moving out, just putting more of a weight on your shoulders to succeed and to thrive in this world. And let's be honest, the harsh truth is most people don't even hate their situation. They hate themselves for doing nothing about it. You say you want change, but you still choose the same habits every single day. You still scroll instead of study. You talk about goals instead of moving on them. And after this video, you might go back and do the same thing. But my goal here is to help you not do that. You know, we all just think that one day somebody's going to be there to save us, but nobody's going to be there to save you. And it's on you to genuinely put the pressure on yourself to succeed and move forward. And you know what direction and what things you need to do first. You just need to do it step by step, and you'll get there. You don't need another quote to inspire you. You don't need another video to inspire you. You just need a moment that scares you genuinely into not wanting to be back in the same position you were probably in before. That gut punch where you realize no one's coming to save you and your potential is rotting while you wait for motivation. And the consequence of that is just the time that you'll never get back. Everyone fears failure, but I feel like deep down regret is worse than that. Regret is so much worse. Failure teaches you, while I keep saying that weird, while regret stays quiet and kills you slow. You ever look back on something you could have done and your stomach drops because it's too late in your life? You know, that's exactly what's going to happen when you keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it later. Every I'll start soon becomes, I wish I had did this. You're waiting for motivation when you should be terrified of the regret of not doing it at all. Or even just the regret of pushing it back. Pain isn't necessarily your enemy, it's feedback. Pain is your brain saying something's off. Most people will numb it with distraction. They'll eat, they'll scroll, they drink, they'll joke about burnout like it's normal. But that pain is supposed to move you. If it hurts, it means there's still fight left in you. The real danger is when it stops hurting. When you've accepted average as your permanent state of being. And I'll never accept being average as my permanent state of being. I see so much for myself going forward. There's so many things that I want to accomplish. There's so many things that I have accomplished, but I'm nowhere near the state that I want to be at. And I'm not fine with just being content of what I've done so far. And I feel like you should be the same exact way, because there's still so much time in the world for us to progress as people. So you have to create your own consequences. If you want to level up, you gotta raise the cost of staying the same. Set deadlines, make promises you'll look stupid for breaking. Bet money on your discipline. Post your progress online. You know, get some feedback. Use pressure on purpose. Because if you don't create your consequences, life will. Through failure, embarrassment, and that's a big one. Or just years wasted. You know, one hurts for a little while, but the others will hurt forever, genuinely. I'll tell you this, you're not lazy. You're unaccountable. There's no real punishment for slacking, no urgency, no accountability. So of course you don't move. You're safe, you know? But comfort always comes with interest. And when the bill hits, it's regret, it's envy, and it's just lost time. And that's the real tax of comfort on your life. So I'll leave you with this. Motivation is a feeling. Consequences are a reality. One can fade and the other can force growth. So in your life, you shouldn't just chase hype. Build walls that'll push you forward in your days, because at the end of the day, you either create your own consequences or you live with the ones in your life that you didn't even choose to begin with. But yeah, it's TNL. Subscribe, like, comment. I appreciate the support, and yeah, thank you.